spoken with. I know we have a lot of new folks, so it's been great getting to know many of you all and looking forward to connecting with you, not just here, but also in Minneapolis in late August. As I mentioned, our next meeting will be, and that will be our next regularly scheduled DNC meeting. Will be to elect 75 at-large DNC members and ratify Chair Martin's appointments to the standing committees. Today's elections will help finalize the full proposed slate for that meeting. Now, here's how the process works. In May, excuse me, Chair Martin released a partial slate of 60 at-large DNC member nominees and his initial appointments to the standing committees. To fill out the remainder of the slates, the regional caucuses, like this one, will each elect 2 DNC members along with 2 individuals to serve on credentials, resolutions, and rules and bylaws committees. The AAPI, Black, Disability, Hispanic, LGBTQ, Native American, and Youth Council will each elect 1 at-large DNC member, and the constituency caucuses, the Youth Council, will elect 1 individual to each of those standing committees as well. So the candidates you select today will be added to Chair Martin's list and for consideration and ratification by the full DNC in August. Now, this process is historic. This is the first time that members of the DNC are playing a direct role and significant role in shaping these slates, and appreciate your participation. Actions like this are one step toward democratizing the DNC, and together we have the opportunity to ensure all voices are being heard in our party. Democracy, of course, is never as simple, and it cannot be accomplished alone. So I want to thank all of you again for your time and participation today. Now, before we begin, we need to establish a quorum, which is 40% of the membership in person or by proxy. We will determine the quorum by voting with Election Buddy, which is the same software you used for the vice chair vote in June, and the technology we use will be used for voting today. I will ask the staff to give a overview at this time of the voting system.
Thank you so much, Chair, and thank you for having us today. Thank you all for joining and participating in this process. So you've all received an email which contains your unique access key and your password. The email also includes the link to cast your ballot. That link is also in the chat, so feel free to click into that there. This is an example of what the email in your inbox should look like. And again, if you haven't received that, message us in the Zoom chat here or call us in the hotline, which is also in the chat. If we go to the next slide. When you click on that voting link, it'll take you to your ballot page. What's great about using Election Buddy in a meeting is that all ballots will appear on the same page throughout the meeting. So the voting link remains the same, and once votes are active, they'll continue appearing on this same page. If we go to the next slide. So during an active vote, the ballot page will have a button to click and bring you into that vote. And so right now, the quorum vote should be appearing there, and you can see here there's a test quorum vote. This is exactly what it'll look like. So the very first time you cast your vote, the system will ask you to log in with your unique access key, which is your email address, and your password, which is a 4-digit PIN. The 4-digit PIN is emailed to you along with the voting link and your access key, which is your email. And like I said, if you keep the voting page open, you do not need to re-enter your access key and your password for each ballot. You are just in there and the ballots will appear. You don't need to refresh or do anything. It's really user-friendly, and we love this feature that Election Buddy provides. So you'll be brought to the ballot page where you can make your selection, and it'll look just like this. Folks should be pretty familiar with this, with the voting that we did in June. You'll see your options down below, and when you click the selection you'd like to make, that little blue button will light up and you can go ahead and click continue. Once you click continue, it'll take you to a review page. And this is where you can edit your vote if necessary. If your finger slipped or your mind slipped and you need to adjust what you clicked, go ahead and click that edit button. If everything looks good, then you can go ahead and click submit. When you click submit, you'll get a confirmation code, and you'll get that just popping up on the screen in which you voted, and you'll also get that via email. And then you click that next vote button and it'll bring you back to the ballot page. And you don't need to log in again or anything else. And so it's all right there for you. So thank you, Chair. I'll turn it back over to you.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Well, let me say Are we past the well, actually, let me take a step back here. So thank you. As you know, the ballot is in your email and also in Zoom chat. The ballot will remain open for 5 minutes. Please message election support in the chat if you're having problems accessing the ballot, and we'll get back to you shortly. So the staff will give a 2-minute warning when the ballot is before the ballot time period closes. I can very quickly would love to acknowledge and thank our current members of our executive board for the DNC Western States. Those include of course, I am the chair. Our vice chairs, Michael Kapp and Deb Nesmanuel from California and Arizona, respectively. Sharon Mast is our secretary. The treasurer position is currently vacant. We have our vice president for voter outreach and election support, which is Jessica Cook from Alaska, and we have our e-board members, which are Gary Shea, Christine Pelosi, Luis Heredia, and the last spot has recently become vacant with Artie Blanco becoming our vice chair. So we also have our at-large members, Michael White, as well as Indira from Colorado, who I think is here as well. And and of course, Trish Ruiz from New Mexico. So welcome. We'll all be seeing you in coming up in Minneapolis as well. How are we doing on time?
Mr. Chair, we about have 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay. Well, wonderful. Well, if any of you are planning, I see Mark Gordon has his hand raised on something.
Hi, there are people who can't, who haven't gotten it, and the chat is disabled, who haven't gotten the election buddy.
Is there a Q&A section thing in here that normally I saw in the other group that had that?
I'm not seeing it. The chat, when you open the chat, it says it's disabled.
Yes, understood. I'll ask the secretary's office has a solution on that.
Thank you.
Folks, we have 2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes remaining. Thank you.
As noted, a number of people have not gotten it and don't have the ability to put something in the chat. I see Mark Gordon has noted that. Okay, Stephanie Beal has not yet received hers as well. I have a direct private message from those. So
Thank you, Chair. We've got a call into Stephanie, and Mark will reach out to you as well.
okay. Cool. If anyone else has an issue, you can, of course, directly chat in as well. We want to make sure you all are heard. And I see Sharon Mast just joined us, our secretary from Washington State. So we've got about 2 minutes left on the ballot. Cisco Aguilar has raised hand as well. Raised their hand as well.
Mr. Chair, we've unmuted him.
Oh, and
I don't have a ballot either.
We will resend anyone whose vote we have not received yet. We will resend your ballot right now. Thank you.
I see Howard Chu. I'm guessing he has the same issue.
Correct. I actually just talked to the hotline. I was supposed to have my 4-digit PIN. I asked for it. It didn't work. So I don't know what's going on. So
Thanks, Howard. We'll reach out.
Joe and Claire, are you having the same issue? I see Claire and Joe Salas have raised their hands as well. And Kim Bartlett, who I think I just saw come in a moment ago as well, from Wyoming. Sarah Adelson from New Mexico. Have you all, you can nod your head if you have not yet received the ballot. Have you all noted and contacted those individuals? Erin, I guess you're on it with those folks.
Yes, Chair. Thank you.
Um, just want to make sure they get the validation. Okay, sorry for disappearing. So let's go through the good news. So the good news is we have a quorum. So this is a test ballot, and it helps us figure out things that need to be fixed. So they're updating the ballot list for the next round with some late additions, people who have been added on. So you all will be included in the next rounds of ballots. That's where we are on this. I know a couple of you have texted me as well. I have forwarded that as well, but they are updating it. And some of the folks who are newer to the DNC will be added on afterwards. So you will get that for the second round. But we do, in fact, have a quorum. And they will be fixing that for the next round as well. So you will be able to vote. We don't want anyone to not be able to vote. That's very important for us. So while I'm here and while we're doing all of that, let me just note here and thank our secretary Jason Ray and those on staff who need to speak. I see Brenda Knapp hasn't gotten her ballot yet either from Alaska. Jason, do you have anything that you can you want to say to us as with respect to this or any other great things happening with the DNC? We appreciate all the emails and updates that you send us.
No, absolutely. Well, hello everyone. Again, thanks for joining. Again, we are working right now as a team to make sure to get those ballots out to all of you. Again, this the quorum ballot was just our test ballot to make sure. So please hang tight. We will make sure to get them as we do the next rounds of ballots. So you've not missed anything. Do not worry. But please know the team, there is that election hotline they've been putting in the chat for you as well. So you are able to vote with that election hotline as well if you need to call in with it as well. But we'll get you those votes. That hotline number 202-734-6553. But again, we appreciate your patience. This is our largest caucus that we've done yet. We've gone through some great meetings so far already in this process as we've worked to democratize the DNC, and are grateful to each of you just for giving up some of your time this Saturday. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. And the great news with being first on some of these things is that we sometimes get to be the experiment. So we appreciate all of your patience with this. While they're updating that, I do want to go over the proposed rules from Chair Martin and the agenda. Our first order will be to approve the proposed rules from Chair Martin for the advisory election that will govern today's elections. You received a 7-day you receive the rules in the 7-day meeting notice. Staff will also put it in the chat. It's got a great plot and the characters are fantastic for those of you who haven't read it. So go ahead and have it as well. Brenda Knapp is still trying to reach you all on the hotline, by the way, just to let you know, from Alaska. So I'll go over some of the key components of the process now, just so that you can have that. So turn that. Okay, so here's the process. The window for nominations, as you know, closed on June 30th, and nominations will not be accepted from the floor. Before each vote, you'll have a chance to hear from the candidates joining us today. The candidates have been afforded the opportunity to share 1-minute remarks ahead of the election. We will elect our at-large DNC member first, and then we will move to the standing committee elections in the following order: credentials, resolutions, and then rules and bylaws committee. Now, in order to serve on a standing committee, an individual must be a member of the DNC. If a non-DNC member wins a standing election, does not secure a seat, the next highest vote getter will receive the nomination. I don't believe that's an issue for us here. As a reminder, these elections will determine who will be added to Chair Martin's slate. No position is considered final until the full DNC membership meets in August to vote on the at-large nominees and ratify the standing committee appointments. Additionally, Chair Martin will not appoint an individual to more than one standing committee. Once a candidate has been nominated to a standing committee slate, they will be removed from future ballots. Proxy votes will be accepted. All proxies were required to be submitted to the secretary by Wednesday, July 9th. So no additional proxies or transfer of proxies will be accepted at this time. We will be using a plurality system. The highest vote getter will win. If only one person is nominated for an office, the chair can declare a nominee is elected by acclamation. I'm sure you all would love to hear more speeches, but we will give everyone the opportunity to be relieved of that if they so wish. In the case of a tie, an additional ballot will be conducted between the two candidates receiving the highest number of votes. So with that, we will, once I am given the word, vote to approve the rules. The vote will be conducted exactly like the quorum vote. Please return the voting page on your web browser or mobile device, and the second vote will appear automatically. If you've been logged out of your voting account, don't worry, you can go back by clicking in the link in your email. I see I have a note here. Let me just move over to Zoom real quick and see what that is about. Oh, Christine Pelosi, you have a question. She's still
Yes,
muted.
thank you. Greetings, everyone. I was going to move to adopt the meeting rules.
Do I have a second at this time? You can raise your hand. Make it easy. Jason Park has seconded. Thank you. I also see Jessica Cook. Okay, wonderful. So it has been seconded. If I may ask the folks here, because I've seen it done for some of the other caucuses, do we want to do this by a ballot vote, or can we do this by a raising of the hands? I'm going to ask the secretary's office if we want to send out a ballot. If we're not,
Chair, I would recommend sending the ballot. As we mentioned, we had some corrections to do and we just want to make sure that everyone's accounted for. And thank you all for your patience. We will make that ballot live now and you'll get an email in your inbox. We'll drop it in the chat. And hopefully things will be smooth sailing, and just want to thank everyone again for your patience.
and we're all here responding. We're iterating as we go along. So if there are some fixes, we love the secretary's office is flexible and working to try to make sure that every voice is heard. So we'll now proceed to a vote at this time. So the vote will be conducted exactly like the quorum vote. Please return to your voting page on mobile device, and the second question will appear automatically. As I mentioned, if you've been logged out, don't worry. Those of you who hadn't received one, you'll be getting that link now. I don't think we have any other questions, so we can then move, and hearing no other questions, the proposed rules is now open, and you have 5 minutes to cast your vote. As with before, by the way, please message election support in the Zoom chat if you have a problem finding that email in your ballot. Thank you, and we'll be back shortly. Hopefully everyone is getting their ballot. Any of those folks here who are new and may want to raise their hand so we can say hi. We're excited that if we didn't get to, since we didn't get to meet you in Maryland, we'd love to just see some of the new faces we have here. After you vote, of course.
Chair, we have 2 minutes remaining in the ballot, 2 minutes.
Wonderful. Hi, Eileen. I know you're from Oregon, right? Yes, absolutely. Lindsay Hanlon, I know from Wyoming. Welcome. And Susan Merrill. Hi, Susan. I want to say Utah, right? Wonderful. Well, welcome all. If anyone else is having an issue with ballots, let us know. That sounds like we've managed to address it. Tanner Hale from Nevada needs some ballot help there. Tanner, if you could call the ballot hotline, that would be great, and they'll get you taken care of. Oh, wonderful. Okay, great. So the ballots have closed. I know Tanner is taken care of there. So at this time, we are closing the ballot and we'll have his vote and the last vote and have a total in one moment. I don't know if many of you have been affected. I know many of us in the coastal states have been affected by some of these ice raids, but we've heard less so of those in some of the red states. So it definitely seems to be targeted. The one update we have out here in California is that a court has held that their roving random arrests are unconstitutional and has issued an injunction that they cannot do that. So I think it's something we all knew, but apparently some other people need to be reminded about the US Constitution. So it's a good step in the right direction. How are we doing on that total?
Coming your way shortly. Thank you.
You got it. Absolutely. Okay, so a total of 79 votes were cast. Of those, we have 76.5 voted yes and 1 voted no. The rules of procedures have been adopted. Thank you. Let me just move over here for a moment. We can move to the next stage. So we will now move to the election of the DNC member at large. We will now move to the following candidates have been nominated for the male or other than self-identified female DNC member at large position. Manny Crespin from New Mexico, Chris Fernandez from Arizona, Fred Yamashita from Arizona, all who have identified as male. So candidates have been afforded the opportunity to share 1-minute remarks. When a candidate's name is called, they will be unmuted and their 1 minute will begin. Once they have concluded their remarks, they will be muted again. I do know, so at this point, only one of the male candidates is able to join us. The other two have informed us that they are not able to make it at this time. So we will begin with Manny Crespin. Manny, your microphone has been unmuted and you are recognized to speak.
Thank you so much, and buenas tardes, Western Caucus friends and family. I'm Manny Crispin from New Mexico, and I stand before you today as a proud, lifelong Democrat, a Hispanic gay man, and an activist for equity, justice, and inclusion. Over the past 4 years in leadership within our party, I've never missed a single DNC or ASDC meeting. I show up because I believe our communities deserve a voice at every table. As the former ASDC Western States Vice Chair and as the Vice Chair of the Democratic Party of New Mexico, I've worked to lift up rural voices, strengthen our party infrastructure, and to turn Democrat values into a winning strategy. I come from a solid blue state with the Democratic trifecta and an entirely blue federal delegation. Proof that organizing works when we invest in people. As a former party officer, wildfire recovery, and environmental justice advocate, I bring both policy and lived experiences to this work. My name is Manny Crispin, and I humbly ask for your vote for me as Western Caucus DNC at-large male rep position to continue fighting for our region, for people of color, for people of LGBTQI voices, and to represent every corner in the West. And most importantly, to defeat the fascist GOP agenda. Again, my name is Manny Crispin, and I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you so much, Chair Lackman and Western Caucus.
Thank you, Manny. Okay, I do see that Chris Fernandez is in fact here. So we can give him a minute as well. Chris, I believe your microphone has been unmuted. Please begin.
Hi, so I'm actually joining you for my honeymoon at the with the blessing of my lovely wife. But good afternoon. My name is Chris Fernandez. I'm honored to be nominated for at-large DNC member by Steph Newton of Oregon. I bring years of experience as an organizer, campaign strategist, and having fundraised millions for candidates and ballot measures. Now I am able to bring that all together as the regional political director for the Maricopa County Democratic Party, where I work alongside candidates, elected officials, labor, and grassroots leaders to strengthen infrastructure and drive turnout in one of the most competitive regions of the country. As a son of Costa Rican and Peruvian immigrants, I've seen how easily our rights can be challenged. Even as a U.S. citizen, I've had my legal status questioned by both state and federal agencies. My professional background and lived experience grounds my commitment to coalition building, grassroots accountability, and institutional alignment across all levels of our party, something that is sorely needed now more than ever. It will be an honor to bring that perspective and lived experience to the DNC. I respectfully ask for your support.
Thank you. All right, wonderful. Now, Fred Yamashita is on a plane back from Washington, D.C., so he is not able to participate, but we did want to make sure it passed on that he wished to attend as well. So that concludes the speeches for the male candidates for DNC at-large member. We will now move on to nominating to the speeches from the female DNC at-large members. The following candidates have been nominated for DNC member at-large female position: Leslie Herod and Susie from Colorado and Susie Shannon from California. Both identify as female candidates. Candidates have been afforded the opportunity to share 1-minute remarks. When a candidate's name is called, you will be unmuted for 1 minute to begin. Once they have concluded, they will be muted again. We will begin with Leslie Herod from Colorado.
Good. Hi. Good. Can
Good.
you hear me? Okay, good. Hi, I am Leslie Harrod, the first Black LGBTQ person to hold office in Colorado, and I'm proud to seek your support. As the only candidate in this race endorsed by my state party chair, I have dedicated my career to grassroots organizing, legislating, and working for the party because this work is personal. I was raised by a single mom who often struggled to make ends meet. And now, as her sole caretaker, as she battles dementia, I know the fear of losing Medicaid, the Medicaid that we rely on. But that's not all. Under this administration, attacks against trans youth are celebrated, people of color are being erased, and our public lands defining the Western landscape and our way of life are being sold to the highest bidder. In my calls to many of you, you express a desire for a fellow member who will put their own personal egos aside and do the tough work. I will be that person. I will also vow to travel to each of your states and do the work alongside of you. Yes, even Alaska. I asked my good friend Malcolm Kenyatta if I should run for this position, and he enthusiastically said yes. Why? That's because I know and we know there's much we can do together to make the DNC stronger and to hold Trump accountable and to make life better for us all. I'm Leslie Herod, and I humbly ask for your support.
Thank you very much, Leslie. Appreciate you being here. We will now move to Susie Shannon. Susie, your microphone has been unmuted. Please begin.
Great.
You're unmuted.
Hi. Oh, I'm unmuted. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Susie Shannon, and I want to thank you all for being on the call today and for your leadership in the party. I'm the founder of the DNC Poverty Council and a proud union member in SEIU 2015, and I'm formerly homeless and work with low-income communities. I'm proud to be endorsed by Secretary Solis and Congress members Maxine Waters and Barbara Lee, and also grassroots delegates from all across the Western region. Our country is in a crisis. ICE is on our streets. There are cuts to Medicaid. We have a housing and homelessness crisis. Taking back Congress and the White House is a life and death issue for many people that I work with and also for members of my own family. I have experience at the DNC. I have worked on advocacy for rural issues, for our environment and for labor. I've worked alongside many of you for 8 years, from 2016 to 2024. I would very much appreciate your vote today. And thank you again for being on the call and for your leadership.
Well, thank you, Susie. That concludes the nominating speeches for female DNC at-large member. The at-large member vote will now be open. Please return to the voting page on your web browser or mobile device, and the vote will appear automatically. If you've been logged out of your voting account, don't worry, you can log back in by clicking either the link in your email or in chat. You have 5 minutes to cast your vote. Thank you, and we will be back shortly. Evan, you have your hand raised there.
Unmute?
Yes. Evan has his hand raised. The member from Idaho has his hand raised there. There you go.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. I just thought the crowd might be interested in knowing that you and I went to the same high school.
Yes.
100 or more years ago, and we're proud proud graduates of the Park School in Baltimore.
Park School Bruins in the house. Absolutely. Thank you. And I saw a note from Christine Pelosi appreciating the Baltimore contingent as well. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Chair and members, we have 2 minutes left. 2
Minutes
minutes
left.
counting.
Wonderful. If anyone has not received a ballot, please let us know. We want to make sure, or is unable to access their ballot, let us know. We want to make sure all of you have the opportunity to vote. I do understand our friends in Washington, D.C. had some pretty nasty rainstorms, I think, relatively recently. Hopefully everyone is safe and dry. Many of us in the West could use the rain. All right. So it looks like ballot has closed. So we will have a count back shortly and get that back to everybody. As soon as I get the final numbers, I'll be happy to share those as well. And I do want to take a moment to thank everyone of all of our candidates for running. This, especially for these at-large spots, it takes so much to get to reach out, to get to know everyone and to make all of those calls and those emails. None of this is very easy, and we appreciate anyone who is stepping forward into this role and who wants to be a part of the DNC and making sure that we're providing an alternative vision that looks out for working Americans, protects our constitutional rights, and protects our democracy. So thank you. Should get that final any moment now. And Derek, I would note for you that I know you want me to say go Birds, but if I did that, it would be the Baltimore Orioles, not the Philadelphia Eagles. So, just want to make sure we all have that on the record. Perfect. Okay. There we are. We should be getting that any second now. I just see that they're bringing something forward. So thank you for your patience. We appreciate it. There we go. Okay, we have some results. So a total of 81 votes were cast for the male at-large DNC member. The results are as follows. Chris Fernandez, Arizona, 12.5. Fred Yamashita, Arizona, 15. Manny Crespin from New Mexico, 51.5. Manny Crespin has received the most votes. Congratulations. Now, with respect to the female at-large members, same number of votes were 81 were cast. Of those, Leslie Herod received 36 votes and Susie Shannon received 43 votes. Susie Shannon received the most votes. Congratulations, and thank you all so much for running for this position. We appreciate it. With that, we will move to the next stage with respect to the elections. With a number of these, we only have 2 candidates, so hopefully that can run very smoothly. Congratulations again to our candidates. I am just going to move over to make sure that I've got everything properly set up here. We will now move on to the elections for credential committees members. Credentials, Michael White from the Mariana Islands has been nominated for the male credentials position. As I mentioned, he is a male DNC member from the Northern Mariana Islands. Michael, you do have 1 minute to address the committee, but you may waive that if you so prefer.
In the interest of time, I'll waive. Thank you, Chair.
You got it. So the deadline for nominations was June 30th. At this time, we received 1 nomination pursuant to Rule 2A. Michael White is elected by acclamation. Congratulations, Michael. You are the male Western Region Caucus representative on Chair Martin's Credentials Committee slate. Steph Newton has been nominated for the Female Credentials Committee position. Steph is a female DNC member from Oregon. Steph, you are the only nominee. You have 1 minute to address the committee, or you may waive that if you so choose.
In the interest of brevity, I'm happy to waive that because what does my grandma say? Blessed are the people that don't speak often because they're invited back.
Yes, Congressman Brad Sherman also used to say brevity gets you invited back as well. Right. Oh, yes. I forgot to ask, are there any objections to the motion by acclamation with respect to Michael White? I don't see any. Okay, moving on. Steph, are there any objections at this time for a motion for acceptance by acclamation for pursuant to Rule 2A for Stephanie Newton? I see none at this time. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Well, with that in mind, congratulations, Steph. You are also the nominee to the Credentials Committee and to be on Chair Martin's slate for us to vote on in August. Congratulations. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, let us move on now to the Resolutions Committee members. Brad Townley has been nominated for the Male Resolutions Committee position. Brad is a male DNC member from Utah. Brad has already informed me that he wishes to waive his time to speak, and so as such, that will not be necessary. The deadline for this nomination was June 30th, and at that time we received one nomination. Pursuant to Rule 2A, Brad Townley is elected by acclamation. Congratulations, Brad. You are the male Western Region Caucus representative on Chair Martin's Resolutions Committee slate. Terry Pickens has been nominated for the Female Resolutions Committee position. Terry is a female DNC member from Idaho. Terry, do you wish to speak at this time, or do you wish to waive?
I'll waive. Thank you so much. But I just want to say hi to all my Western Caucus DNC members. I can't wait to see you all in August.
Likewise, the deadline for nomination was June 30th. That time we received one nomination pursuant to Rule 2A. Terry Pickens is elected by acclamation. Congratulations, Terry. You are the female regional caucus representative on Chair Martin's Resolutions Committee slate. And I do want to say just how wonderful it is that we have so many different states represented through this process that don't always get the chance to serve on committees. So exciting to have you all here. We will now move on to the election for Rules and Bylaws Committee member. The following candidates have been elected for the Male Rules and Bylaws Committee position. Luis Heredia is a male DNC member from Arizona. Gary Shea is a male DNC member from California. Candidates have been afforded the opportunity to share 1-minute remarks. Speaking order has been determined alphabetically by last name. We will begin with Luis Heredia from Arizona. Luis, your microphone has been muted and you are recognized to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And members of the Western Caucus, I appreciate the opportunity to earn your support for this vote. I am a member from Arizona, was first elected in 2013. I have served the DNC in multiple capacities, but my fundamental passion is that of service. I believe in a very passionate way, and sometimes that passion gets me in a bit of trouble. But that trouble is because I love the future of our party when we can work together and build a foundation that recognizes the moment. I might not be a technical rules participant, but I'm a vision participant in making sure our party is redefining what it means to be a Democrat. I come from a family that was not institutional, first generation Americans, farm workers, a cafeteria worker, and that made me fight for every role that I have had in my life, and especially in politics, especially in a state like Democratic politics in Arizona. But I don't give up. I've lost a lot of elections, but I continue to come back and show in the room that I want to work extremely hard for this party. I hope I could earn your support.
Thank you. Thank you, Luis. Next, we will hear from Gary Shea. Gary, your microphone has been unmuted. Please begin.
My name is Gary Shea, and I request your vote for the RBC. Along with organizing for our committees, our candidates, my primary involvement in the party has been from a rules perspective. I have always believed that the best way to ensure grassroots participation is through our rules and bylaws. I always strive for the fullest practical participation possible and want to work towards implementing Chair Martin's vision for a more democratic DNC. I'm best known for having expanded our delegate selection rules to include persons with disabilities and the LGBT community. I pushed back against those who thought America wasn't ready for this. I am committed to ensuring a fair and open presidential primary in 2028 and including an early state from the West. I believe in reporting back. I have done that as your representative on the executive committee, but I am not running again for re-election. However, I do commit to doing that as your representative on the RBC should you decide to entrust me with that honor. Again, I request your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Wonderful. All right. So Indira Dugarala has been nominated. Sorry, we will now move to the nominating speeches for the female resolution, the female rules and bylaws committee person. Indira Dugarala has been nominated for the female resolutions position. Indira is a female DNC member from Colorado. Indira, you have 1 minute to address the committee. Your microphone has been unmuted and you are recognized to speak.
In the interest of time, I am willing to yield my time so that we can finish the meeting early.
Thank you. Well, wonderful. We received one nomination, and pursuant to Rule 2A, Indira Dugarala has been elected by acclamation. Congratulations, Indira. You are the Western Region Caucus representative on Chair Martin's Rules and Bylaws Committee slate. This concludes the nominating speeches for all the DNC Rules and Bylaws Committee. The Rules and Bylaws Committee member vote is now open. As we mentioned, Indira was elected by acclamation, so you will only find the male candidates on your ballot. Please return to your voting page on your browser, and the vote will appear automatically. If you've been logged out of your voting account, don't worry, you can log back in by clicking either the link in your email or in the chat. You have 5 minutes to vote. Thank you, and we will be back shortly.
Chair, there are 2 minutes remaining.
All right, there are 2 minutes remaining. I want, again, while we have those 2 minutes left, I think we should all thank the secretary staff for their wonderful work with respect to this, making sure that everyone's ballots get counted and this all runs smoothly. I also want to thank you. I know you all have been communicating with me through the Signal chat, and I want to assure you that unlike some people, no war plans have been shared through the Signal chat in any way. So, we do it by the book here at the DNC. Wonderful. Anyway, with that in mind, we'll have, I think, maybe about a minute left, and then they will let me know when the ballot is closed. One moment there, Derek.
So, Andrew, I just want to say that you two have ran a phenomenal meeting and thank you. Appreciate you, Chair.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Wonderful. I think we should have maybe about 30 seconds left, give or take a bit.
Chair, you are right on the money. The ballot is now closed.
All right, wonderful. So the ballot is now closed. Thank you. So I will just wait. They're starting to do the tabulations. So let me just, there we are. First of all, I want to thank you all for voting in all of these. It's great to see you all here participating in this historic process. Let's pull this out here. We will have the total for you momentarily. And the nominees for Best Catering and Action Comedy are... So a total of 79 votes were cast. We have a result for the Mail Rules and Bylaws Committee. The totals were as follows. Luis Heredia, 30 votes. Gary Shea, 48 votes. Congratulations, Gary. You received the most votes. And this works much better than paper ballots. See? Much faster, much faster. All right. So members, that concludes our business for today. Congratulations to those elected to Chair Martin's at-large and standing committee slates. Your service is both appreciated and essential to the work ahead. Thank you for your meaningful participation in this process. Today's meeting was one step forward to our continued efforts to build a more inclusive and representative Democratic Party. I look forward to seeing everyone in Minneapolis for the August DNC meeting. And so without objection, and I'm sure some people really want to see us do this a little bit longer because we've treasured every bit of our moment of